Hey, Forge fans, it is the Forge Audio Network. I'm Anthony Urciuoli. This is 3 Keys to the Match presented by Volkswagen. Forge FC on the road out in Victoria, taking on Pacific FC Sunday, September 18th. Kickoff is at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Now, we've been talking about the standings a lot, but it bears just setting the scene because, this is what it's all about, playoff positioning and some teams still battling to make the playoffs. Atletico Ottawa, still at the top of the table, 41 points in 24 matches. Forge FC, 2 points back. They have a match in hand. Cavalry, 1 point back of Forge. Forge also with a match in hand on Cavalry. Valor is in the fourth and final playoff spot with 36 points after 24 matches. Pacific, Forge's opponent this weekend, tied with Valor at 36 points. They've played one less match than Valor. So Pacific needs this. They only have 5 matches remaining, and they're right on the cusp of a playoff spot. Forge FC, meanwhile, can't get too complacent here. At the end of the day, 3 points separate second to fifth place. So points are at a premium right now, and Forge FC in complete control of their own fate because they're 2 points out of first with a match in hand. Here's the other thing that works in Forge's favor. So Forge has the 5 matches. Did I say Pacific? Forge has 5 matches remaining, and in those 5 matches, the next 2 are on the road, and then 3 consecutive matches at home. So that works in Forge's favor. Also, out of the final 5 opponents for Forge FC, none of those clubs are currently sitting in a playoff spot heading into this weekend's matches. So Forge FC with a great opportunity here to finish atop the table. But first things first, which is something head coach and technical director Bobby Smyrniotis reminded me when I chatted with him before this match.
We can't look at the long term of things and the 5 games and how many points, because that changes quickly. What's most important is what's at hand on Sunday, because you think past that and you start doing math, it's just blurs the brain of both us as a coaching staff and the players, and that's not something we discuss at all. We know if we can do the business and win some games, that we've got a good chance of finishing at the top. So we will see how that pans out. But the most important thing is just 3 points on Sunday, and we'll say the same thing on Monday after that. Whichever way the results go, then the next one becomes as important as ever for the 3 points. And I think all the teams are in this situation right now. So I think that always makes for interesting games. I think it makes for exciting games, and we hope that Sunday works in our favor.
All right, we know Bobby doesn't like looking at the standings. He doesn't want to waste his time. So we'll monitor the standings for him and keep him up to date on the Forge Audio Network. All right, your 3 keys to the match for Forge FC heading into their battle with Pacific. Key number 1, first goal. So important in this league. Now, besides the fact that you have a lot of clubs that like to play that defensive style and sit back and try to beat you on the counter, for that reason, especially in this league, that first goal is important. But Pacific, Cavalry, Forge, 3 clubs that play a little differently than the rest, play a little more attacking, on the front foot to varying degrees depending on the situation. So that first goal is so important. You're on the road if you're Forge in hostile territory. Pacific, a very difficult team to play on their home pitch. And you want that first goal. You want to take the crowd out as much as you can. It's not going to silence the crowd, but it will at least make them a little nervous. Listen, Pacific right now is outside of a playoff spot. They cannot afford to miss the postseason after winning the championship last year. So score that first goal. Make Pacific worry a little bit, make the fans worry a little bit, take them out of their comfort zone, make them play uncomfortably. And Pacific is a club that has struggled to score. They've scored as many goals as they've given up this year. They've scored, 11 fewer goals than Forge have this season. So Pacific's not a team that can open things up to a point where they're thinking only offense and, trying to go shot for shot, chance for chance. They can't play that way at this point because they're just not scoring. So that first goal, very important. Also, Forge FC, for whatever reason, in recent matches, they have not responded well to giving up the first goal. It's taken them out of their game. All of a sudden, they start trying to force things. They get out of their possession type game. They're trying for a little more of those long passes, and now those create mistakes, and that creates turnovers. And Advantage Pacific, who, by the way, can score. I know they've been struggling to score, but in terms of their mentality, they have an attacking mentality that can burn Forge if they're going to make those costly mistakes and force plays that aren't there. So Forge want to play their possession game and dictate play. In order to do that, it helps to score the first goal. So first goal, key number 1 for Forge FC. Garven Metusala, Forge defender, echoed that.
I think it's the most important. We saw last game how much that first goal gave us momentum and gave more energy. So it just puts it puts the other team on the back foot, and it puts us in the front foot. So getting that first goal is always always helps us a lot more.
All right, first goal, first key for Forge FC. Key number 2 for Forge, man the middle. Kyle Becker will not be in the lineup for Forge as he serves his suspension after the red card against Calvary last match. Some confusion on Manny Aparicio, who I've heard from. We actually in the match day preview we heard from out west that Aparicio would be suspended for this match. He doesn't show up as suspended on the league website. But there are some people that are uncertain. They think maybe he should still be suspended. I don't know where we're going to land on this, but regardless, Manny Aparicio, obviously an important piece for Pacific in the way they like to man the middle and spread the ball around. Aparicio is probably their most important player right now with his role in the midfield. So regardless, whether he plays or not, and whether Becker is in the lineup for Forge or not, he won't be. Forge FC have enough, more than enough, in that midfield with Hojab Rapport, Sissoko, Alex Ashenyote-Janssen has been able to move into the midfield with Daniel Crutzen returning to the back line. Noah Jensen has been able to step into the midfield and produce quality play. Tristan Borges has played in the middle at times this season. This team has the midfielders to be able to compete with any in the league with or without Kyle Becker. So with that, Forge FC will look to dictate play, and will need to dictate play in the middle, dominate the middle of the field, because for Pacific, a team that, as we've mentioned, is struggling to score, they're going to need a guy like Aparicio to connect plays. But if you can dominate the middle, you take out a very important piece of that Pacific build and attack. Forge FC will look to man the middle on Sunday. And Bobby Smyrniotis, just oozing with confidence when it comes to his midfielders and their ability to win the midfield battle.
It's going to be a pretty good match. The midfield is something that we tend to dictate a lot, and we want to do the same thing in this match on Sunday.
Man the middle for Forge FC. That is key number 2. Key number 3, trust the process, which connects to that first key where we said Forge wants to score the first goal. Trust the process for Forge FC means, as badly as you want the opening goal, you have to trust that playing your style, playing your game will produce results, whether you're trailing or whether you're in the lead. We haven't really seen that. It's a mental game. When Forge has struggled, it's been at times when they've given up the first goal and abandoned some of the things that make them so great. So trust the process means remain disciplined, play your game no matter what the score says. If you're trailing late in a match, that's different. You can start changing things up. But until it gets to that point, play the exact same way from start to finish. Don't change. Trust the process, because it's gotten them so far, and it's tough. Your mind can play tricks on you when things aren't going your way. You instinctively want to change things and do things differently. Stick to it. It's a waiting game sometimes. Patience, especially on the road, can go a long way for Forge FC, and they will need to trust the process if they want to earn a victory out west against Pacific. Those are your 3 keys to the match presented by Volkswagen. If you want a more in-depth preview, check out our match day preview that has dropped on the Forge Audio Network. You can subscribe via podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, on YouTube. And you can also stay up to date and watch our content and listen to it on social media and at forgefc.ca. We're in for a good one. Don't forget, following the match, the match day preview will drop, and we'll sum things up. And for Forge's sake, hopefully we're talking about 3 points for the side from Hamilton. All right, enjoy the match. You can be sure it's going to be a good one. We'll talk to you soon.
Forge FC is ready, and now you are too. This has been 3 Keys to the Match on the Forge Audio Network. Keep up to date on your Forge FC by subscribing to the Forge Audio Network on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.